Hello, it's me.
What is going on, YouTube? What is going on? It is such a wonderful day. I'm glad to see you here today. So, today we've got a good one. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger talking to Bill. How do you say his last name? Bill Maher? Bill Mayer? Bill Maher? But anyway, I saw this come up on my feed and I thought you guys would really like this. Apparently, and I was under the impression that Arnold was a diehard Democrat, very liberal in nature. And I was kind of confused when Bill Maher said he was a Republican, the last Republican governor that was elected. So let's see what's going on here. There we go.
You're the last Republican. Really the last Republican from California, the last guy who got elected in this state.
Well, let me tell you something. Saving democracy.
Democracy.
What I suggest
I
that
love
the way
this
we
guy.
save democracy nationwide is to really have a
Not a good
proposal
person,
like, for instance,
but
the
man.
Save Democracy Act. It's just an idea where we go and make election day a holiday, so that everyone has time to go out
Yes.
and go to the election.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do agree with that. A lot of times, granted, going to vote has never been an issue for any job that I've worked. However, I say that only one instance where I wanted to go out and vote, and they're like, no, you have to do it after work. Of course, I got done with work like at 6 or 7 o'clock. So, I don't know. I like the idea, but generally speaking, voter turnout, in my opinion, hasn't been because people can't go vote. I mean, they're open pretty much all day for the most part. It's just like after you get done with work, you really don't want to do it. So I guess for the voters who, you know, aren't wanting to wake up early or go after work, they have responsibilities, have to pick kids up from daycare, so and so. This may be a good thing for them. But I don't see it swaying voter numbers significantly though.
Again, this is something Democrats are all for and Republicans are all against. It's not like
There's a second
I mean, I can see an argument for both sides.
Okay.
Second point, you have to have fair redistricting, to have independent redistricting commission in each state all over the United States.
Yeah,
And number
except-
three,
Except they won't do it.
and number three, you have a voter ID.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you may be a Republican. Okay. Yeah, the Democrats are very much so, from what I've heard, against, and I may be off base, but every time I hear the Democrats getting up in arms, it seems to be about Governor Gavin Newsom. He didn't want to ID voters. He actually made it, like illegal for someone to ask for your voter ID, which is absolute insanity because not only are people saying, well, you're just trying to get the illegal vote because you've got no other voters in, otherwise. But I mean, when you do that and make it illegal, what you're doing is saying, yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do, and there's no lack of interpretation there, which is damaging.
When you go and
Sure.
vote, people should know that you are that person.
Yes.
Those are all things that they
That's
have
right. We want to know who's
Europe.
voting.
Right.
So I come from Europe. I'm giving you just ideas, not that I created those ideas. Those are things that are happening in Europe and have happened for centuries.
Right.
So this is why I think that it is important that we do the same thing here. I think if we take those three things, there's something that the Republicans like, there's something that the Democrats like, get together and solve this problem. It's the same. It's no different than talking about energy or anything like that.
I do disagree with you, Arnold. I mean, a lot of bipartisan things right now that should be bipartisan, like the government shutdown being the most recent one, ICE protesters, like we want to get illegals out. Like that, the crime statistics were so high under Biden strictly because of illegal immigration. It's not that the people in the United States just decided to revolt, because remember, Biden was everyone for the most part accepted him on the liberal side, and a majority of the country had the trans ideology, this, that, and the other. So Biden was well liked among the United States, except for Republicans. But for him being so well liked and him getting more of a, Donald Trump in 2016 got a record amount of votes. And in 2020, when he lost the election, he got way more. I think like 14 million more. And people were telling him it is impossible for you to lose because of how much. I mean, he shattered Obama's number. Like it wasn't even close. And then all of a sudden Biden wins by a landslide. And it's like, So that's where some of this voter ID comes in. But if Biden really did win, then and he did it fairly, then why did crime go up exponentially? And the answer is that when you import, millions and millions, I mean, I don't know the actual number. Some people say 14 million, some people say 20 million on the high end. Whatever the case, 10 million people on the low end is still an insane amount of voter presence. You got to understand, in most of these cases where a state becomes red or blue, it's only red or blue by like 200,000 to 500,000 people most of the time. So when you account 10 million illegals who are allowed to vote illegally, technically, then there's your number that pushed Biden over the edge. But why has crime gone up? Because illegal immigration is so staggering under the Biden era. It makes sense to think that way.
That with Democrats.
But I mean, with the bipartisan thing, anything that Trump wants to do, that even if it was a Democrat idea, the Democrats are going to be 100% against it. If Trump said, yeah, let's go out and let's fund illegal immigrants' health care, if Trump completely made a 180 on all of his policies, the Democrats would still vote against him and they would vote the way Trump is now, just because they're anti-Trump, whatever it is.
And Republicans can get together. You give something to the Republicans, you create more nuclear power. You give something to the Democrats, create more renewable power. And all of a sudden, we have 80% of energy.
It's nice to think that way, and I like that.
This is the way we have to do it. We have to go talk to each other.
He's right. We do have to talk.
Talk to each other because that's what the people want and that's what the people need.
I mean, yeah. So, like, lots of good points by Arnold. I'm actually surprised because in recent years, I've heard some of the stuff he said, and I've been in complete disagreement with him. And he came off as more of a liberal than a Republican, but I mean, he's got a lot of good talking points there. It's just in reality, wanting to do something and actually doing something are two very different things. Now, Arnold, he may be a little naive in believing that, oh, well, we just have to go to the table and talk. We have done that. That's the problem with Arnold's statement there, and I do disagree with that because if it were so easy, remember the Republicans right now are the party of peace. All of these conversations that have happened that have come to light are literally Republicans saying we can keep things the way they were. Democrats, that's not a problem. If you'll just sign it, we'll open the government. It'll be no problem. And the Democrats are like, well, we actually want you to repeal the big, beautiful bill because we don't like it. And we want to give health care to illegals. And we also want like $1.5 trillion plus another $500 billion for this and that. And only like $2 billion is going, or $20 billion, I think, is going to the medical stuff. So what's the other like $1.6 trillion going towards? It just doesn't make sense. And, the Republicans were like, hey, let's keep everything the way it was, right? And the Democrats are like, no. In fact, the first 10 votes, every single Democrat that held a seat said no. And it wasn't for rhyme. It wasn't for reason. It's just part of the game. And to them, I think it is a game because honestly, they're only hurting their own base. The Republicans are not hurting by this, but reality is the Democrats at this point are firing their own people in government because Trump does have the right to get rid of waste. And with the government shutdown, if someone isn't producing, and most of the time Democrats do not produce, those people are the first people on the chopping block. And it's a cause and effect type situation. Like Trump doesn't want to fire these people. But the reality is there's so much money in the pot and someone's got to go. And it'll most likely be a Democrat, which and it's only hurting their own base when you think about it because the Democrats and the Republicans wanted to keep everything the exact same way. They voted 13 times under the same budget to keep it exactly the same way under Biden. The Republicans have not changed anything. They say we can go ahead with the past spending bill and we can dish things out later, details and whatnot. The Democrats are like, no, do this or die, which is terrorism. It is terrorism. Do this or die, and they're like, well, Donald Trump is on the golf course. He's playing golf. He's already talked to you guys. He's talked to you guys 3 or 4 times. And he said, look, we're not budging on this. We are not giving health care to illegals. Period. Done. If you want to go ahead and open the government and save your own people, we'll be more than happy to pass it. But we need 7 votes. There's 53 votes on the Republicans, and everyone voted yes, which is amazing because even though a lot of the Republicans are against the spending budget of Biden, that was voted 13 times, they still voted yes because they want things to run smoothly. We can hash out details later. The Democrats are like the 5-year-old on the playground trying to be bigger than their britches, trying to bully people. And then what happens is the people are like, you're just 5. You can't bully me. I'm 10 years old. So they just go and play somewhere else. And then the kid follows them around mad, and they're like, you're not paying me attention. That's what the Democrats are doing. They're throwing a hissy fit. And it's honestly, it's only hurting their own people. And Democrats right now are the biggest terrorist organization in the United States that are legal. So be it what it may. It is what it is. But that was a good video from Arnold. Sorry for the rant. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you watch to the end. And if you do, leave me a comment saying I watched to the end. I really appreciate it. Help get the videos out there. But thanks again for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.